Today, we'll be discussing general account of Cycadofilicales, Bennettitales, and Cordaitales. Cycadofilicales, Bennettitales, and Cordaitales are extinct orders of gymnosperms, meaning they reproduced using seeds but didn't produce flowers or fruits. Cycadofilicales, also known as Pteridospermales, were an ancient group of plants that resembled ferns in their foliage but reproduce via seeds rather than spores. So they are often referred to as seed ferns due to this combination of fern-like leaves and seed-bearing reproduction. Bennettitales were another extinct group of gymnosperm that had a palm-like or cycad-like appearance. They were characterized by stems covered in persistent leaf bases and reproductive structures that included both male and female organs. Some scientists believe Bennettitales may be related to the ancestors of flowering plants, that is, angiosperms. Cordaitales were a group of tall, woody gymnosperms that were abundant during the late Paleozoic and early Mesozoic era, and they are considered an early group of conifers and are thought to be related to modern day conifers. Also ginkgos and cycads. So first of all, we'll start with the Cycadofilicales. Cycadofilicales or Pteridospermales are gymnosperms with fern-like foliage, as I already told you, also called seed ferns. Having unprotected seeds, Pteridospermales appeared during Upper Devonian period of Paleozoic era and existed throughout the Carboniferous and Permian periods and became extinct during Mesozoic era. Pteridospermales were first of all discovered by Grand Eury in 1877. General characteristic of Pteridospermales: the plants possess erect, slender, or weak stem. Leaves are large, pinnately compound, and frond-like. Primary xylem is present present in the form of solid or medullated protostele. Primary xylem is usually mesozoic and rarely exarch. Polystylic condition has also been reported in some cases. Secondary wood has been found to be Mesozoic and was formed in small amount. Multiceriate pits were present on radial walls of tracheids of secondary wood. Seeds were borne directly either on modified or unmodified foliages. Ovules do not contain annulus and were surrounded by copules. A distinct pollen chamber was present in the ovule and the integuments were either free or fused with nucellus. Integuments were vascularized and nucellus was also vascularized. In some ovules, microsporangia were grouped into synangia. Then pollen grains, they were either monolete or trilete and lacked pollen tube. Leaf traces were mesozoic. Next is classification. A note in 1948 divided Cycadofilicales or Pteridospermales into three families. First is Lyginotridiaceae, means representative of this family was characterized with the monostelic stem, petioles, generally with the single strand and with small seeds. Then second is Medullaceae. Representative of this family exhibit polystelic stem and large petiole and large seed and number of scattered bundles. Third is Camoptiaceae, and this family is characterized to be the largest family of the Pteridospermales with monostelic stem and large number of bundles. Sponne in 1974 classified Pteridospermales into 7 families. 7 families were Lyginotridiaceae, Medullaceae, and Camoptiaceae, Glossopteridaceae, and Peltospermaceae, Corystospermaceae, and Cytoniaceae. Then out of these families, the first 3 families were confined to Paleozoic era, and the remaining 4 families belong to Mesozoic era. Next order is Bennettitales. Bennettitales is a fossil group which was prevalent during the Triassic to lower Cretaceous periods of Mesozoic era. Bennettitales have been discovered either in the form of compressions or petrifaction. Bennettitales have been named so in honor of J.J. Bennett, an English botanist. First representative specimen of Bennettitales were collected from Great Britain in 1825 in the form of fossilized trunk of genus Bucklandia. Birbal Sahni in 1932 reported Williamsonium swardiana from region of Upper Gondwana, Bats of India. Several representative of Bennettitales have been discovered from Rajmahal also. Next is characteristic, means general characteristic of Bennettitales. These plants existed during Jurassic to Cretaceous period. The stems were stout or slender with wide pith. The stem grew very slowly and had monozylic wood. Leaves were mostly pinnately compound, occasionally simple, with open, rarely closed venation. Stomata were syncytially. In the wall of the epidermal cells was sinus. Reproductive organs have been reported to be present in the form of hermaphrodite or unisexual flowers. Then flowers develop in the axil of leaves and were protected by brackets. Male reproductive organs were born in a wall and they were free or fused, entire or pinnately compound. Microsporangia were present abaxially in the form of synangia. Microsporophyll sometimes surrounded by megasporophylls and forming hermaphrodite flowers. Ovules were stalked and produced in large numbers on conical, cylindrical, or dome-shaped receptacle. Then presence of several interseminal brackets on the ovule containing receptacle. Seeds were dicotyledonous. Peculiar characteristic which are present only in Bennettitales. These were bisporangiate stabili, synangium bearing fused microsporophyll, close occurrence of ovules and interseminal scales, and production of stalked ovules. Walton in 1940 recognized two families of Bennettitales. These were Williamsoniae, and this family was characterized by fully exposed flowers which were present on slender stem. Example is Williamsonia. Then second is Bennettite, and this family is characterized by flowers which are deeply sunk among the persistent leaf bases and were present on thick, stout trunk. Arnold in 1948 classified Bennettitales into two families. These were Williamsoniaceae and the second is Cycadofilicales. Sporne in 1965 divided into three families. First is Williamsoniaceae, Wielandeliaceae, and third is Cycadofilicales. Next order is Cordaitales. Cordaitales represent most ancient order of class Coniferopsida. The Cordaitales is a group of fossil tall trees of Paleozoic era which existed from Devonian through Carboniferous up to the Permian period. The group started declining during Permian period and became extinct by the end of this period. The Cordaitales have been reported to have occurred alongside with the Pteridospermales, and they have been named in honor of Australian botanist A.J. Corda. Most of the Cordaitales were tall, large-leaved trees reaching a height of about 30 meters or more with diameter of 3 feet. Next is general characteristic of Cordaitales. The plants of Cordaitales were tall trees, as I already told you, having slender trunks with a crown of many well-developed branches. These plants existed from Devonian to Permian periods of Paleozoic era. Leaves were simple, arranged spirally, and were either stab-shaped, grass-like, or petal-like. Leaves possessed parallel venation, and the length of the leaves was about 1 meter or even more. Presence of scanty primary wood have been reported. Then scanty wood was mostly pycnozylic and compound unisexual cones were present. Each compound cone had main axis with brackets subtending with secondary fertile shoot possessing fertile and sterile appendages. Megastrobili possess sterile appendages below and ovule bearing fertile appendages above. 1 to 4 ovules were present on each female fertile appendages. Microstrobili had sterile appendages below and pollen sac containing fertile appendages above. Each male fertile appendage containing 4 to 6 terminally located pollen sacs. Sperms have not been reported. Scott in 1923 divided Cordaitales into 3 families. These 3 families were Poroxylaceae, Pitaceae, and Cordaitales. Poroxylaceae represented by a single genus, Poroxylon. Here stems were slender with long internodes and collateral exact primary bundles. It was large and double leaf traces on for each leaf, along with thick parallel venation in the leaves. The Ptaceae also represented by single genus Ptais, and here vascular bundles were mesac. Wood possessed multiciliated beds, and the next is Cordaitales. It was represented by several genera, among which the best characterized genus remained to be Cordaitales. Then Sporne in 1965 classified Cordaitales into 2 families, and these 2 families were Cordaitales and Poroxylaceae. Thank you.